Good morning to the Facebook fam of Wake Up Everybody. Super excited to be here with you this morning on day 710. It always blows my mind to see what Shawnee and the team has created here at Wake Up Everybody. Today we will be talking about Olympic preparation for life. And if you would like to grab some water, and a notebook or piece of paper or your phone to take notes in. And at some point, I'll be challenging you to actually put something into your phone. So if you have that nearby, that would be awesome. Very excited to be here with you this morning. And I can't wait to get going with this in just a few minutes. Thank you for being here this morning. I like to say bright and early, but the sun is nowhere to be seen right now as we enter into the late fall. But again, very excited to be here, and thank you all for being here, either early with me or watching the recording later on. So again, good morning. Now we have our Zoom folks coming in. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning.
Good morning, Adam. Good morning to all of you wonderful people coming on in. And welcome to day 710. Got some still connecting to audio. Some who are here bright and early. Olympic preparation for life is coming at you today, and I'm very excited to be here with you this morning on day 710. If you want to grab your water and a pen and paper or notebook and have your phone nearby as well, that would be super helpful. In just a few minutes, we'll be diving into Olympic preparation for life. I'm very excited to share some stories with you all from my journey, as well as how that has related to and translated into life. And hopefully there'll be some helpful pieces for you to take into your own life. Good morning, Marilyn. Welcome to
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. Happy to have you. How's everybody doing this morning? Hopefully well. Hopefully excited for some good conversation. I have a number of questions to throw at you today as we talk about Olympic preparation for life. So again, if you are just joining, feel free to grab your water and pen and paper and have your phone nearby as well. If you'd like to take notes just in your phone, that works as well. Hopefully there is one piece or two that you can take away. And here we go.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together.
All right, so just for those of you who do not know who I am, this is just a brief background to give you a little bit of understanding of who is speaking at you today and having conversation with you. And I think the name of this session being Olympic Preparation for Life, it is important to note that 2021 was the Olympics that I was fortunate enough to participate in. And I'm currently in the process of building my own business in 2022. And the most exciting piece for me to focus on is the fact that I am a wife, auntie, godmother, and dog mom. And I'm so grateful for all of those roles in my life. And just a brief outline of what's coming at you this hour, small daily actions that have a huge impact, the power of our mindset, boundaries and burnout, permission to rest, and my take on being selfish. So I'm excited for this conversation, and let's jump right in. So this saying, I'm the best at what I do, is actually a saying that I set into my phone and as a reminder, and it would go off every single morning for the 2 years leading up to the Olympics. And the way that I reacted when that popped up on my phone every morning changed through time. When it first was coming up, I almost read it in disbelief and thought, am I? And a couple of months into it, I started reading these words and thinking, I am the best at what I do. That didn't mean that I was the best softball player in the world or that I thought I was the absolute best at everything, but I was the best me. I was the best at what I do. I was the best combination of skill possible. Obviously continuing to improve, but this saying just helped my mindset so much. And, over those 2 years, every time it went off in the morning, I intentionally took a moment to read it and digest it and take it in and then move forward with my day. And I currently have, as I'm starting my business and have transitioned into a new phase of life, currently have a reminder of trust the process, because there's a lot of new things coming at me and just want to remind myself that the day-to-day actions are slowly building the business that I would like to build. So my first challenge for you this morning is to think about what is a reminder that might serve you for this month or this winter. Is there a reminder that would be beneficial for you to read every morning as you're starting your day, or every evening as you're winding down and getting ready to go to bed? Is there a reminder for 2023 that would be helpful as you think about, 2 months from now, we'll be entering a new year. What is that reminder that will be helpful to carry you through that year? So if there's anybody who would like to share, if they have something that pops into their head, that'd be awesome. Otherwise, thinking and reflecting, what is a reminder that will serve me for this month or this winter, and that I can enter into my phone to go off every morning to remind me of that. If there is anyone who would love to share, I'd love to hear it. And otherwise, we can move on to the next slide.
So Joey, are you referring to maybe affirmations that we can have in our phones, pop up on our phones as reminders?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Maybe for me, it's slow down, or I used to have prayer reminders. So stop and just pray, or gratitude reminders on my phone. And it would, just say, give thanks. And so maybe once or twice, I think I had it in the morning and in the evening, for me to just stop and pause and just be grateful and sit in that gratitude.
That's awesome. And did you find those helpful for you?
Absolutely, because I just keep going and going. And those reminders, and our phones can be our second lifeline. And so when that goes off, I'm looking at it, of course, and that reminder was constantly there. And I had to even show myself grace with that because I felt bad that I had to remind myself to be grateful or remind myself to pray. And, it's just something, it's just the sign of our times, and if I can put that reminder in place, that was something that I did for myself. So I had to I had to show myself grace, but also acknowledge that I was putting things in place that would help me.
Yep.
And being proud of myself for that. And it looks like Abimbola said, love yourself first. No one is greater than you. And Cheryl shared hers would be, I love to move it, move it. That's giving me Madagascar vibes.
Yes,
I know.
yeah. How does that not put you in a good mood?
Right.
That's how it came into my head. So, okay, that's a good one because I need to keep that movement going all winter long. So,
Yes. Definitely forgetting to move, especially now that I've converted to working from home fully. I have to move and get the blood circulating, and I see and feel the difference. So thank you for that, Coach Cheryl. And Marilyn said, when things get tough, I sing everything is awesome. Thank you,
Nice.
Marilyn.
That's awesome. So it's crazy how intentional we have to be when thinking about our own mindset and reminders. And so I challenge you today to set that reminder into your phone and see the impact that it has on you as you move forward into the coming weeks. And as was just mentioned, we always have our phone on hand, right? So as soon as that reminder goes off, we are going to see it and digest what that is. I also think often about what I'm wearing. Like this shirt this morning is Choose Your Attitude. So every time I look down or in the mirror, it's a reminder that I have the power to do that. So thank you all for sharing those. And hopefully we have taken some time to put them into our phone or have the intention to do that today. We can move on to our challenges a given. So I would love for you to, if we get our first line up there, put your thumbs up on your screen, your reactions, if you have never faced a challenge in your personal life. So, and those of you on Facebook, you can just write into the chat, put the little emoji thumbs up. Thumbs up if you have never faced a challenge in your personal life. And typically, when I have conversations about this, there are crickets because we have all faced some kind of challenge in our personal life. Moving on to the next line, use your reaction, thumbs up reaction, Facebook friends, thumbs up emoji. If you have never faced a challenge in your professional life, and typically there are crickets in this with this as well. And then the final line, thumbs up if you've had a day or week or month or year you thought might break you. And for me, that is absolutely a thumbs up. And I think a lot of us can relate to that. We've had a day or a week or a month or a year that we thought might break us. So there's a quote that should come up next on this slide, and it is, obstacles do not block the path, they are the path. And buying into this kind of mindset and understanding of, life isn't supposed to be easy. And especially when we are going after a goal or something that we want to achieve in our life, we often come across challenges. So obstacles do not block the path, they are the path. And moving into the next slide. So understanding that this is true and that obstacles are the path, and so they are inevitable. They are here to stay. I worked to create an Olympic mindset to help myself navigate that and be able to stay on course as I was training to be the best that I could be. And as you can see there, my test became, performance under pressure. Can I perform under pressure? And in reality, that was, can I remain in my process under pressure? So the mindset pieces for me were understanding of self, mental awareness, and having intentional internal dialogue, which obviously that phone reminder plays into there. And I will be touching on all three of those things, all three of those pieces. And the Olympic mindset test that I've pulled into life has become, am I able to stay in control of my thoughts or actions in stress? So that's one thing, one reflection I would like for you to carry forward from today is, am I able to remain in control or in touch with my thoughts or actions in stress? Often when we get stressed, our personality almost shifts a little bit. We start doing things at a different rate. We become overwhelmed. And so the pieces I'm going to share with you today are what has helped me be able to navigate and stay in the moment and stay in the process. So we can move forward to the next slide, where here we will stack up not all, some of the challenges that come across us in life, sometimes on a daily basis. Some of these every day, some of these once a week, some of these all the time, some of these infrequently, but they're there. And this is just a visual to help us really bring home that point that stress and pressure and challenges are everywhere, and we are facing them constantly. And so understanding that, going back to the idea of how can we create a mindset or create an understanding with ourselves that we are going to be facing these challenges. And is there anything missing from this list that is a big impact to us in our lives? Is there anything that comes to mind that we can add to this list, or something that you relate to from this list? Something you're dealing with currently that you'd like to share with the group? I think for me, the idea of taxes, having just started my business this year, the looming thought of small business taxes coming up, that is something that has provided me a lot of, and it's just kind of like living in the back of my brain right now. So something I will need to figure out and add to my to-do list to reach out to my tax person so I can stop having that stress linger in my brain. Something else, I feel like social media comparison is something that speaks loudly to me. Did somebody unmute? Is there someone who wants to share?
No, we have some, yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Go, Rachel.
Oh, yeah. Blessings. Yeah, something I'd like to add is just the expectations that we set for ourselves can be challenging and stressful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for adding that.
Yeah, and Joey, I feel you on the taxes, as someone who just converted to being a contractor, consultant, that 1099, you got to separate your taxes on your own. I am my own HR person now. But something here that I think is sticking out for me is maybe that family building or dating relationships, finding the right mate, those things, or just friendships in general, relationships in general on the list. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think what you even caused to pop into my brain from that is the societal pressure of doing what you're supposed to be doing at that stage in your life.
Absolutely. Yeah. You should have kids by now. You should be married right now. A lot of shooting on ourselves.
Yes.
As Coach Mika said.
I love that. I love that. Yes, absolutely. And I think so social media has become something that is in our lives constantly. And one thing that I always share that I've been super intentional about with regard to social media is who I am connected with. And so Instagram is the platform I use the most. And I have intentionally taken the time to, scroll through my feed. And if there's something that comes up that makes me that doesn't serve me, I will unfollow that account. And I have intentionally seeked out accounts that are empowering. A lot of women's empowerment, a lot of growth and learning for me. So social media has, yes, it's become a way for me to stay in touch with friends, but it's also become a way for me to open up a feed and feel empowered. And it's such a different feeling than the past, when I would open that and scroll through and realize that I was starting to feel drained and judged. So I think, did somebody unmute? Is there someone who'd like to speak again?
No, some folks are joining and need to be muted, that's all.
Okay. Yes,
Well,
yes.
Teresa has her hand raised.
Awesome.
Can come up.
Peace and blessing. The one thing about social media is that sometimes you can get distracted with social media also by looking at it so much that, you know, you get distracted and miss out, you know, doing some things that's important for yourself. So that's what I do. It's like, I've been giving myself like a certain, I don't really viewing it as much. So people be like, when you see it, I'm like, no, I didn't see that. You know, so I be missing out on stuff because I don't be on social media like that. I just feel like it can be distracting, but I got to figure out like a balance, you know, maybe I could check my events or whatever, because I be missing on stuff because they put everything on Facebook now. And that's the one thing that I feel that is missing, is the personal interaction. Everybody just want, and everybody just into Facebook and not, you know, interacting with each other. So to me, that's the thing I don't like about the social media, is that it takes away the beauty of, you know, like just feel in touch of, you know, being with family or friends, you know. So, and I'm complete. And thank you so much, Joey. I love your background too.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, social media can be a blessing and a curse. I think it does such a good job of allowing connection, and, you know, you can do a Facebook event and invite all of your Facebook friends and use it as a means to get people together, to create conversation. And there is also absolutely that idea of getting sucked into, you know, the rabbit hole of Facebook and social media. And I'm actually, while we're thinking about this, I might start, you know, setting an alarm on my phone or one of my devices when I'm about to get on social media to say, you know, okay, I'm giving myself 20 minutes here instead of getting sucked in for an hour and a half, you know, because definitely those days where you feel, where did the time go? I just got completely sucked into that. So strategies to try. Anybody else have another strategy of keeping themselves on track and not getting sucked down the rabbit hole of social media?
Yes, I speak. What I do, just stay away from it pretty much. I go on, like, I'll watch YouTubes or anything empowering or something. And that's like not the first thing I do in the morning. Like, I prefer to do this opposed to scroll on social media. You know, I prefer to work out and, you know, things like that, read something. Just, that's my strategy. And I'm complete.
That's awesome. So replacing the activity with something else, something that's going to fill your bucket. Awesome. So let's move on to understanding of self. So those of you who have been to my sessions before know how obsessed I am, for lack of a better word, on just things like the Enneagram and mindset, and just really gaining an understanding for ourselves. So just a quick reminder, a quick overview of the 9 types of the Enneagram personality assessment that has just unlocked so much for me in life. And it's something, you know, there are many, many tools out there, and I'm not saying everybody has to do the Enneagram, just saying it was something that was very, very helpful for me. But I do encourage you to think about what tool you can use or how you can gain a better understanding of yourself. So Chantel, if we can click once here for me, that would be awesome. So the next thing to think about is, as you're reflecting on yourself, is what are your burnout signs? You know, do you understand what they are? For me, the reason I have this photo here is this was shortly after getting back from the Olympics. And when I look at this photo and look into my soul, what I see is a burned out person. So in my post-Olympic journey, it was about 4.5 months until I felt like myself again, and really had to figure out, you know, I'd never come off of a high so high and landed in such an unfamiliar territory. And so really reflecting on what did it take to get me there? Can I progress the rest of my life without feeling that huge let down after something happens? And I've had a lot of conversations with people about, you know, work in general, having goals that they've worked so hard for, and then, you know, what happens next. So really figuring out what are those signs for yourself that you are becoming burnt out, and how can I kind of create an environment for myself to land more softly in those moments. We have 2 more clicks here, Chantel, please. Awesome. And then on the flip side, what fills your bucket? So, you know, Rachel just talked about this, you know, waking up in the morning and doing this. So what are the things in your life that fills your bucket? You know, do you know what they are? And can we be more aware of that? And then which boundaries might serve you? So just a quick example from that is, I've really, you know, I want to become the best version of myself that I can. And whether that was in sport or now as a coach and now with my business, I want the feedback. Now, criticism is something that it's tough for me to digest. And so something that a conversation I have with people who are close to me is about the tone that is presented in those conversations. And, you know, just allowing people to understand that, you know, if we're going to have a conversation and be, I want the feedback, but please deliver it in, you know, a conversational way as opposed to aggressive and in your face, because I won't be able to digest that well. So just reflecting on those a little bit. And then I want you to think about, as we're about to move into the next slide, what is something in life that puts you in a bad headspace? And as you're reflecting on that, we can move into the next slide and really think about what is something that puts you in a really bad headspace. And the idea of practicing noticing your thoughts is something that allowed me to understand that about myself. So I think, do we have some stuff in the chat there, Chantel?
Yes, so we have Jackie, who said passive aggressive behavior. Rachel said conflict and confusion. And Teresa also has her hand raised.
Awesome. Let's hear from Teresa.
Peace and blessing. I'm Joey. When you said the tone, oh, Joey, that is one thing that just aggravates me. And it's like, I just automatically shut down. Like I was in a conversation with my family, and I had made a statement, and then, you know, the tone got kind of, you know, like aggressive. And so I just shut down. And, but I gotta know how to, you know, be able to like say, hey, you know, why you gotta talk to me, you know, in that tone of voice without, you know, just totally, like, I just checked out after that. I just started checking out. Then they started saying something. I even got more checked out. I was like, oh, well, okay, I'm just gonna sit on this phone and just listen. But I didn't say to them, you know, like, hey, you know, yes, you know, I was wrong, but it was like the way the conversation just went so intense, and I was like, daggone, you know, so, but I just shut down. And so that's the place where I gotta learn how to, you know, speak up for myself. But part of me felt like if I spoke up, it wouldn't be received, but I gotta just figure out how to just say it anyway without, you know, my tone gotta be nice even when I'm saying it. But you know, that tone just turns me off. It really does. It's like, I don't hear shit you gotta say after that. People saying that, you know, I'm not screaming, but that's what I'm saying. That's how I feel. But I don't want to hear nothing after you say that. If your tone is nasty, like, don't talk to me. So I got to work on that part, you know, to be able to know how to bring it to a nice, clear, calm thing. But that's definitely important for me, and I'm complete.
Yes, I can 100% relate to exactly what you were saying. And it's challenging in the moment to share your boundaries. You know, things get heated and emotions go high. It's challenging right then and there to say, excuse me, can you please talk to me nice? Like, I'm happy to have a conversation about this, because everybody's emotions are coming up, including your own. And so what I've found to be super, super helpful is finding moments to have a conversation about it, you know, at a different time. So, and on any given day. And I've had some people say, well, how do you even start that conversation? Like, how do you just be around, like be with your family and say, okay, hey, everyone, I want you to listen to what I need from you. And my suggestion is to ask other people, like when you're sitting around those people who maybe those instances have happened, but you're just there, you're hanging out, you're with those people, and you know, hey, so-and-so, what are some boundaries that help you be your best in life, and open up that door to that conversation to learn about them as well, which then gives you that open door to share your thoughts about tone, or about whatever it might be, whichever boundary it might be. Does anybody else want to share anything about their the boundaries they need, or things that set them off a little bit?
I'll share one more thing. You know, tone is one thing for me, and it's a huge thing, but also verbiage, how you say something, even if your tone is low, the words that you use, which is something that I consciously work on, because I've realized that communication is a skill set. So you have to be mindful of how you are delivering your message, the wording that you're using while delivering your message. And I'm complete.
Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing.
Yeah, and then we have some things in the chat. So where are we? Simone said confrontation. Z said family drama in general. Cheryl shared poor attitude directed at me from family. Aaliyah said greed, jealousy, and hate. And from Facebook, Sherry Tona Sofas said thinking about things that need time to unfold rather than continual action. And paranoia aggravates Jackie. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So lots of different things that get under our skin or aggravate us or just cause those negative feelings in us. And so one of the things that I want to talk about these is just the ability to notice our thoughts and understand what those things are so that we can set those boundaries. So when this really became clear for me during my Olympic preparation was actually when I had to do treadmill workouts. As I was preparing to do them, or I would wake up and know that I had one that day, or I was stepping onto the treadmill, I realized how negative my just internal dialogue was and how much that impacted my mood in that moment. And so just that act of noticing your thoughts throughout the day, when you wake up in the morning, when you're starting your day, when you are heading out the door to go to work or school, or to go connect with some family, or you have some errand to run, when you are walking out that door, what are the thoughts going through your head? What's your mindset in that moment? When you're winding down from the night, what are your thoughts, and how's your mindset sitting there? So it's just extremely helpful to reflect throughout the day and figure out even more, what are those moments? What are the things that I can remove or add or alter about my day to create a better mindset or thought flow? Routines is something that I think is super helpful. And a lot in sport, routines were so helpful for me. Like in this moment, in this photo, you can see I'm staring at my bat just as I'm about to face a pitch. And so I had the same routine between every single pitch that I faced. And that allowed me to be in control of my brain and and allow me to be in the moment. So having a routine, if you want to have a pre-meeting routine, or, you're about to have a tough conversation, is there a way that, grab a coffee and sit and just have a moment with yourself? Is there a routine you can create before you start your day? I had a couple teammates who brought their hammocks on the road. And so in the long months of being on the road, every chance they got, they would grab their coffee and take their portable hammock outside, tie it up to some trees, and just sit and have a moment, whether it was 5 minutes they could have or 20 minutes, just have that moment to start the day. The next point about anxiety, one thing that I absolutely hate, and it gives me so much anxiety, is flying. As you can imagine, I've flown a lot in my life, all around the world. I have a flight this Saturday that I'm not looking forward to, but what I started doing about 10 years ago, actually, is anytime I was on a plane and I would start feeling that anxiety, I would think to myself, would I be able to, if I was on the field right now, would I be able to perform with how I'm feeling? And now that I'm not an athlete, put myself more in the mindset of, would I be able to coach someone right now? Would I be able to be my best self right now? And the answer is always no. When I'm feeling, uptight, I'm feeling anxious, my heart is racing. All of these things, these body reactions are happening along with the mind of anxiety. And so I've used those moments that provide that anxiety to breathe and to practice relaxing my muscles and to actively use that anxiety that I hate to become more relaxed and in control of how I'm feeling in that moment. So I'd love to hear if anybody, we can pop off the slide again. I'd love to hear if anybody has some moments that they're thinking, I want to use this moment now.
All right, we have Aaliyah.
Awesome.
Hi, good morning. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Good, great. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for the community as well. So I just wanted to talk about, you mentioned like noticing your thoughts, whether it's anxiety or just negativity or something that may get you in a bad headspace. And I literally just really learned this maybe like 2 weeks ago. Or maybe I actually took heed to it, just noticing your thoughts. So like from a religious standpoint, I went to like a religious session. I'm Muslim. And what the speaker was talking about, they were talking about like what we do was like zikring. But I think for anybody, whatever religion you're in, or if you practice mantras, just saying something that is positive, being mindful, right? So if you want to say, I love the sun, God is good, God is great, but just noticing your thoughts. That was the advice that was given. And I just feel like that it just is so helpful. So when you start to go into like that negative mode, or you start thinking about something that kind of pissed you off, becoming mindful and maybe saying 3 things, saying 3 high vibrational things. It could be religious, or it could just be something that just gives you peace. It has really, really been helpful. So like when I start to go into that mode of like, oh my God, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, or this happened, or, somebody's being crazy, or in my opinion, I go into that mode of just reciting those 3 to 4 things that bring me peace. So I just felt like there was a connection there with what you were sharing and the advice you gave, whether it's religion or just maybe just appreciating life. I just wanted to, just mention that. And I'm complete.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And it's cool that there's been some recurring themes coming up in your life right now. So hopefully there's a lot more positivity and mindset heading all of our ways. Teresa.
Yes, peace and blessing. I had an experience yesterday. I was having a meeting, and I had been listening to the video, a YouTube video about being grateful. So I put the video on before the meeting, and I was saying, different things. Like before people came in, I was on Zoom, and I was just speaking out loud. And so a situation happened in a meeting where it got like a little intense for me. And so I was getting ready to say something, but it was like, no, don't say nothing, just be quiet. And so, the whole meeting just turned around, to my advantage. And I was shocked by it because I was quiet. And then the other thing that happened was that like last night, I have an appointment to meet with a customer today, and I was so frustrated by what happened. That in conversation with with my family members that I was like, oh, I'm just gonna cancel, and I was like, nope, you're gonna do what the hell you got to do, and you're gonna get your behind up, and you're gonna meet for this meeting. So I was like a little sleepy last night. I was like, nah, Teresa, you gotta find the information that you need. So in the morning you could just fill out the application, and I did it, and everything just worked out. So it's like there's times when I have to push past whatever that's thoughts that's coming to my head about what I'm supposed to be doing, because I'm determined to like not be in debt, and I have a gift where I could help people do it, and so I have to push past all those different thoughts to keep on fighting. So I was very proud of myself that I was able to do it and just push past that. So I feel like I'm progressing for the fact of me being able to push past whatever that happened, and being still and being quiet too worked out earlier for the meeting, and it just worked out one. I mean, I was in shock with because I was quiet, but then someone else spoke up, and I was in such a shock, and I was like, oh wow, geez, that is so deep. And I was like, wow, it's like, this is good, so I just want to say, how it worked out for me. But I do believe, because I set the atmosphere of being grateful, that, it changed, a lot of stuff. And I just kept going. I've been listening to it for like the last 3 days. Because I was listening to motivation, but I think Sister Cheryl started that I'm grateful thing. So I just been looking for I'm grateful stuff. And it's like a 9-hour video. So it's just constantly telling you I'm gonna get the video, and I'm gonna put it in the chat so anyone else who want to listen to it. And I'm cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. So keep an eye out in the chat for that video. And just as you were talking, Teresa, I was thinking about how often we almost put up roadblocks for ourselves, whether it's, not wanting to do something or feeling a certain way about something. And we almost like talk ourselves into a different place. And there you were able to overcome that and use that determination to say, no, I'm going to do this. And this is what it's going to look like. And I think that's so awesome. And why it's so important for us to be intentional with the reminders for ourselves, with what we're feeding our minds, the videos we're watching, the social media accounts we're following, all of those things, we're constantly taking in the feeling of those. And a couple of minutes ago, a mantra was mentioned, and that actually goes perfectly into my next slide, which is my personal mantra currently, which is adapt and thrive. So this mantra sort of like naturally filtered its way into my life as I was training, and it has helped me navigate so much. It was so impactful while I was training, and now is so impactful in life that this has become the mantra of my business, adapt and thrive. It reminds me, it's now everywhere. It's on a lot of slides that I do. I have a t-shirt for it. It's on my website. It's just constantly in my mind. It's in front of my face, filtering into my brain, because as I've mentioned so many times throughout this morning's session, challenges are going to happen. We are going to hit obstacles. If we remember back to one of the quotes, obstacles are the path, right? And so this mantra for myself just keeps me in that positive headspace when something happens. It doesn't make me excited for a challenge to arise, but it reminds me that this is the path. It is not supposed to be easy. This challenge has come up. Now, how do I adapt my mindset or my approach or something along those lines so that I can thrive? And so this has just been so, so helpful. And I come back to it all of the time. Does anybody have a mantra that they want to share? Feel free to type your mantra into the chat. That might help you navigate some challenges that come your way. Or if there's anybody who would like to share, to unmute and share, that is more than okay as well. I cannot say how impactful this has been for me. Go ahead, Rachel.
Yeah, I'll share something that I actually wrote. It's one of my quotes. And I always say, my faith is stronger than the war in my head.
Love that. So what are the moments that's most helpful for you?
well, I always, that's just how I live, what I live by, but like when I'm talking myself down, from a moment, I'll say to myself, all is well. You're doing the work. God sees all. And that kind of like makes me feel like comforted in a way.
That's awesome.
Thank you. And I'm complete.
Thank you.
And Aaliyah shared in the chat, proven even scientifically, there was a study done with 2 plants. The person spoke negatively to one plant and positively to another plant. After 30 days, one plant leaves were bright, beautiful, and taller, and the other leaves were forlorn. So imagine our internal spirit as humans. Yes.
Wow.
Mhm.
That is so impactful to think about.
Yes. And some mantras that we have, Cheryl said, just breathe is one of her mantras. And that goes back to those daily reminders to do the little things, right? That we forget to do. We breathe, but are you breathing intentionally? And Jackie said, the universe always works in my favor. V shared, I'm blessed and grateful. I'm always blessed. And then we have, what if I believe?
That's
Yeah.
awesome. There are so many what ifs, and it's amazing when you just change that to a positive, right?
Mhm.
Instead of what if something goes wrong? What if that doesn't work out? What if there's a big issue? What if there isn't?
Mhm.
I love that. What if I believe?
Yeah. Another one of my favorites is I'm the creator's best work. So just knowing that God made no mistakes here on me,
Mhm.
I'm question that. And then Stacy from Facebook said, ask you to explain what OLY is. And she always says everything is always working out everything is always working out for me as her mantra. And another mantra is I'm a magnet for money. Yes.
Love it.
I love
Love
that. Money comes to me easily. I love to say that one.
That's awesome. Yes. And so OLY is once you have gone to the Olympics, you can apply to the Olympic organization to use OLY after your name. So it's just like a designation showing that you were in the Olympics. And the US Olympic Committee has a lot of restrictions and copyrights on the words surrounding the Olympics. So that's why, the title of this in the public facing was OLY mindset for life or preparation for life, and not Olympic preparation for life, because the US Olympic Committee actually has the rights to the word Olympic and Olympian and Tokyo 2020 and basically all of those things surrounding the Olympics. So OLY is something I can use that just signifies Olympic. So thank you for
Nice.
that.
So it's like your Esquire, your JD at the end.
Yes. Yes.
MD, PhD, awesome. Oh, so you're official.
Yes, officially official.
Yes.
Awesome. So thinking back, here's just some photos from my journey, the most taxing part of our training portion. And here I was super intentional about taking moments. So we had one day off. There I am with my roommates. We went to the beach on our one day off that we had, and just took some time for us to relax and be with the water. We were down in Florida training. Where we were staying, I could walk down the street and see some amazing sunsets. The pictures never do it justice, but I was very intentional about, taking that time for myself to take a breath. And, especially in addition to the training, I'm an introverted person. And so just having some time for myself. So I would walk down the street, go to the end of the road, take in this view, this sunset over the water, and walk back to the house. A couple more pictures can pop up here. And so my birthday actually happened while I was with my teammates, and we were not allowed to have a drink. And so we found this, actually one of my teammates' friends is involved with this company Ritual, and it's a zero proof alcohol. So essentially an alcohol substitute. So we went to the beach and we took this fake alcohol, and this was after a long training day, and just sat around and enjoyed each other's company in a social setting. And it almost felt like normal life, right? Just sitting down with our friends. And so having that moment, and then on the right, every single day when training would finish, they provided one meal a day for us. So we would do groceries and do our own breakfast and bring lunch to the field. And then we would get dinner given to us each night. And often we were so exhausted, we would just take the food, go home, eat it and hang out at the house. And on this day, we decided, let's do something different. Let's break that routine. And so we found this little short, it was about a 5-minute walk to this pier from where we parked, and just sat and took in the sights. And again, then watched the sun go down and just took this moment for ourselves. And it was amazing to feel how doing these things, breaking that kind of monotonous routine and just doing something a little bit different was so powerful for us. One more click, please. And so here you can see rain or shine, morning or night. I would also, water just does so much for me. Anytime I can be near water, I am going to be there. Anytime I can sit and look over the water, I'm going to do that. And so again, I was just very intentional, either starting my day, ending my day, taking a moment, didn't matter if it was raining, I was out there just feeling that calmness from the water around me. And then a final click for this page. Here's just a glimpse into, this was game day number 1 at the Olympics. And I had laid out my uniform, my outfit the night before. And that's something that I continue to do. This morning, I woke up and my clothes were laid out for today, because I've discovered that is one action that I can do that allows me, in the future to feel better. So it allows me to start my day on a better foot, rather than waking up and thinking, what am I going to wear? Where is that item? And so it just allows me, it's a super simple action that allows me to begin my day on a different note. So if there's anyone who would like to share an action that they take, would love to hear that as well. So I think I just saw we've got some action in the chat. If you'd like to unmute, Jacqueline, here we go.
Good morning. How is everyone?
Good morning. Great. And you?
I'm fine. What I find that works for me is, if I know what I'm going to do the next day, I'm more in tune with following through. So I have my calendar on my door. I check it at night. I put down what needs to be done the next day. I used to lay my clothes out or get them ready, or at least have in my mind exactly what I'm going to wear, because that will put me in a tailspin when I was going to work if I didn't know what I was going to wear, and it would not be a good day. So I do prepare the night before for the following day. Even though I'm not going anywhere, I'm in the house most of the time right now, I still plan my day for the next day. I don't always meet all my plans, but at least they're there.
Yes, then you begin your day in a clear way.
Yes, I'm focused. I know what I'm supposed to be. I ain't gonna say that. I know what I planned for the day, and I know what, if I don't get it done, then that's gonna go on for the next day, because I'm going to get it done at some point, and I'm complete.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, it is so amazing how one small action can just either start your day off amazing or the complete opposite. All right, we've got Vera, what you got for us?
Good morning. I have these 2 books that I start my day with every day. One is the Daily Word, and the other is the Guide for Spiritual Living, Science of the Mind. And so Science of the Mind, every day they give me a new intention or affirmation. And today it says, rather than living for tomorrow, today I set myself free to bring the gifts of my highest intention to life now. What I do with who I am today matters. So it's about my intention today to set is to stay in the present. Stay present. And I'm complete. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Do you have anything in the chat?
You actually want to go back to Adam and his mantra. I am great, I am strong, I am powerful, I am creative, I am innovative, and I am orgasmic. I say. And I say this mantra, sorry, Adam got me all messed up in the head. I say this mantra before I eat and before I drink my water. And I wanted to point that out because I know that there are some people who speak into their water before they drink it as well. So speaking positivity into their water. So I just made that connection and wanted to share and throw that out there as well. So some people who might want to put that practice into play. And then what do we have? Jackie, she already shared. And then Coach Cheryl said, yes, I would use my bedroom chair as a valet for laying out my clothes upon, for laying my clothes upon when I had to go out to work. And I still do it when I have to go out now. And Z said her day goes better if she plans in advance as well. Yeah, and I personally like to check my calendar the night before and create a to-do list with timestamps to keep myself within like certain time frames of getting things done so I can pace myself. Doesn't always go as planned, but leaving some room in there for flexibility, for breaks, things like that. Reminders to eat. That's another thing I used to have to put on my phone, like take a lunch break. So those constant reminders and setups are helpful.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the shares. And it's so awesome to see how many things people already have in place just to help themselves start their day off on a better foot. So well done to everyone. Now here, I just want to bring up the idea about the word selfish. When we hear that word, there is a lot of negative connotation that goes along with it. And what's changed for me is throughout our Olympic journey, if every single person in this picture did not put themselves first and figure out how to be their best self, we would not have ended on the podium. And so the word selfish for us became a positive one. Are you taking care of yourself? What are you doing for yourself? What else do you need to do to be at your best? And every single person in this photo was selfish. And what that did for us was allow us to all be at our best. And we were all bought into our common goal. And we were able to put this collective powerhouse together that was just such an amazing way to end my softball career. So I encourage you all to think about that word selfish and think about how can I be more selfish in putting myself first and understanding that all of the things, all the people I'm trying to help and the things I'm trying to do, if I am my best self and if I am fueling my own fire, I'm going to be better for all of those things. So I realize we are approaching 8 o'clock. So if there's anybody who needs to pop off, I appreciate you being here and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And then it looks like we can pop off the slides and have a share from Teresa.
I love what you said about the word selfish because we have been taught to take care of people and not take care of ourselves. So being in this space and other spaces, the word selfish, like you said, is becoming a positive word for me, and it was like, it's been challenging because, I didn't know how to do that. But now that I'm focusing on me, I'm a lot peaceful and less stressed, so, and, when I be like, I'm taking time for myself, they was like, well, I'll say no to someone. They was like, no. I was like, no, I can't do that, or they'll say, can I have no? I can't, do that right now because, I have to take care of me, so that is a wonderful word, for me. I call it like, self-love. What I'm saying, like I'm loving on myself, and I didn't know how to do that very well, but learning to do it, it's like Like one thing is like sometime if I don't do what I'm supposed to do today, I go beat myself up. No, you're not beating yourself up. Just do something, do something different tomorrow. Find another way to deal with whatever you didn't do. And so that's helped me a lot. And giving myself grace is the other thing. And I'm complete. Thank you so much for this conversation. Really, 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 really enlightening.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for being here and for all the shares. And I would love for us to enter into some breakout rooms just to give everybody the chance to share if they feel so inclined, and just to take a few minutes to talk about how to make ourselves more of a priority. So either something that you do that maybe others would appreciate hearing about, or something that you feel you can do moving forward to make yourself more of a priority. So we will be popping into breakout rooms just for a few minutes to allow you to share some thoughts on that. And then we'll come back together and wrap up for the morning.
All right, and how much time do you think we'll need for this, Joey?
I think if we come back together in about eight minutes.
Okay.
So if we have breakout rooms of 3 or 4 and give everybody about 2 minutes each to speak, and then come back together.
Awesome. All right. There we go.
Did we give them the question or what they're going to be discussing?
Yes. So again, it's how can you make yourselves a priority? And it's also in the chat if you missed it, anyone. Okay, people are heading out.
Looks like a few people might have stepped away for a moment.
I expected that. Yeah.
Am I in a room?
You want to go? Let's see.
Yeah, I'm not in a room, I don't think.
Yeah, I was in the room by myself, so I
Oh,
didn't.
it said you didn't join, Rachel. Okay, let me close them and then open it back up. One second. All righty. All right. So you should all
So
see.
y'all set the calendar wrong. You gotta fix it.
No, it's right. People weren't joining. It said not joined. Can you all see it now?
No.
No.
All right. So I'll make it so you all can join it yourselves. One second.
Good morning.
They just
So the
kicked
time
me
is
out.
wrong, guys.
I was
As soon
in
as we get in, we're
4.
getting pulled out.
Oh, it got in there. Okay. I don't
I
know
was in
why.
and then I was
What
out.
get pulled out and pulled back in? What happened?
All right. Now send yourselves to a room.
How can we send ourselves to a room?
Do you see the rooms there?
Oh,
I'm
we
on
was
my
in the room.
tablet. Let me see if I can
We
figure
was
out
in
how
the
to do
room,
it on
but
my
keep on
tablet.
taking us out the
All right,
room.
one second. Let me just assign people.
Yeah, y'all keep on taking us out. We've been in the room twice, but y'all took us back
Well,
out again.
some people weren't in the room, so I had to reassign everyone.
Oh, okay, okay.
Some people weren't seeing the prompts.
We're just trying to make you adapt and thrive this morning.
Yes, I get it.
All right, looks like some people are seeing the prompts, so that's good. Let's see. And
Hey,
if
Jack,
not,
love you. Hey, Veronica, love you, love you.
right.
So now, so we just click on a room now, or what?
Yes, do you see the rooms there?
I see it says breakout room, so which one should I go to?
Anyone you want.
Two. I'm gonna join 2.
Okay, I'm going to 2.
All right. Let's see. There we go.
In progress.
Mhm. All right, and let's go to room 3 for chat. Okay, perfect. I think We are cooking with grease.
So we still have a few people remaining.
Yes, let's stay here.
So Joey, did you want to flush out the discussion with choose a person, Abimbola, Ifun Sade, or Rukia?
Absolutely. Oh, now we're down to 2, but that's all right. Abimbola, are you here with us and would like to chat about how you can make yourself a priority? How about you, Cheryl? How are you going to make yourself a priority?
Oh, I already am a priority. I'm pretty good with setting boundaries and letting folks, perhaps sometimes maybe letting folks know would be helpful. Letting folks know what my boundaries are could also be, but I'm pretty good at setting boundaries around things that are a no for me, or that just don't align. And I feel that that's prioritizing myself. Another way is self-care, like I put in the chat, making sure that I'm doing the things that I to nourish myself is what makes me making myself a priority, making sure to drink my water, making sure to spend time in the morning in a devotional space and prayer, and making sure to, move. Really, that's the hardest one for me, to make sure to move, get my movement in, get my physical activity in on a consistent basis daily. Those are priorities, and showing that I'm prioritizing myself and appreciating myself. I find that when you show yourself priority, there's a greater sense of appreciation that you have for yourself, and it comes through in everything that you do. So, those are some of the basics that I do. When it comes to advanced, I take spa time, and when I go to the spa, I take the whole day just there, just steaming and, doing the cool and the hot, and, doing everything that the spa has to offer. And it's just afterwards, I come home, I feel like a wet sponge. And, I feel like everything's been squeezed out of me, and I have a clear place to build what I want to build, or to put in what I want to put in. So those are some of the things. And like you said, water, being around water, being in water, drinking water, all things around water also nourish me and are part of prioritizing myself. So I take salt baths, I take special meditation baths, I take baths in complete silence and complete darkness. I get creative with it and just really enjoy water. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Have you ever done a float tank?
That's on my list. I would love to do a floating tank. That's definitely something I looked into, trying to find one in my area. And that was pre-pandemic, and I didn't find it. So I haven't looked again post-pandemic. But I'm hoping that something will be a little bit closer to me, so that I can access it, because it sounds amazing. It does encompass water, floating, and being in complete darkness. I have a little bit of a claustrophobia, so I don't know if I would want one where you close it all the way. I don't know if I'm ready for that, but at least one where it's slightly closed.
Awesome. Yeah, I haven't done it either, but I've heard some of my former teammates did it and just said it's so amazing to just be there and literally just be.
Yeah. Actually, I need help prioritizing myself. So thank you so much, Coach, for sharing all of the ways that you've been doing that. And I was so proud of myself this week, because I started a tradition. I love Halloween. And the last 2 years we've been inside for Halloween pretty much. And so I was going to the movies to see scary movies. Last year I saw Hocus Pocus on the big screen. And that was a big deal for me and my inner child, because when I was coming up, it was just on Disney Channel. had the DVD and stuff, but to experience it in the movie theater was super fun. And so this year I prioritized myself and I cleared out my schedule and I went to the dine-in theater and got myself a little drink and a good meal and watched a really bad scary movie, Halloween Ends. Like those movies have been terrible for the last few years, but it was like the tradition in it, the spookiness of it. I was just feeding my inner child. And there are times where I won't prioritize myself, most often than not. And I just, phone calls were coming in, people were asking for support with things, and I tried to handle everything before I went. And I was so proud of myself because sometimes I'll just say, just stay in, do the work, talk myself out of it. But I was excited for 7 o'clock to come, take my shower, take myself on this date, and there were no there was no second guessing, there was no feeling bad about it or anything like that. So I was just so happy with how I handled the situation, how I leaned into doing something for myself. And I've been on a high off of that all week, just the excitement of doing it and for being unapologetic about it. So the little things.
Yes, that's awesome. I'm very proud of you for that.
Thank you. And I will keep to my little tradition that I've started for myself.
Yes, please do.
And we
Yeah.
have about 10 more seconds in the room, so people will be coming back pretty soon, just to let
Okay.
you know.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I love that you're riding that high still.
Yeah, it shows how important it is and like what happens when you do listen to yourself and feed into yourself.
Yep.
I haven't been on since the beginning, but what I'm hearing is a lot of tools for myself. This is Rakia.
Hi, Rakia.
Hi.
Nice to meet you, young ladies. And those of you that know me, I love you guys. But it's just good to get some ideas on how to self-care because I'm all in for others. But for myself, I'm gonna learn to do better. That's a guarantee and promise to myself.
Awesome.
So many of us
I just good at devotions like waking up and being grateful and stretching and thankful for all the things that I do have. But the other things of doing self-care is where I have to improve upon and just giving myself mental time and physical time. And I'm complete. If anybody's still there to hear me.
Yeah, we're all back now.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Breakout rooms ended.
Grand Rising, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Coach.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you all for that and taking time to talk and share about prioritizing ourselves and putting that positive spin on selfish. Before we wrap up, is there anybody who feels inclined to share something from their conversation?
Anything juicy come out of your breakout sessions? Or anything you want to start trying that you heard in your rooms?
Teresa.
Well, one of the things that I said I was doing was creating like a structure for my business that I hadn't done. And by me reading the different things about, setting up your business, I didn't really have that stuff in place. So I've been, more, diligent about doing it. Another thing too, it came to me after that, while I was in there, was that a lot of the negative stuff kind of comes from our childhood. And so sometimes we're beating ourselves up about habits that has been, this habits, I learned this from parents or family members, or even, whoever your caregiver. So give yourself grace and just realize that, you're a work in progress, I won't even say work in progress, that you're a diamond in the rough, so a lot of coal got to come off us so the diamond can shine bright too. And I'm complete, and talk to people, like talk to people and get in a tribe that's healing, that's gonna, help you showcase, the best person that you can be. And I'm complete. Thank you again for this conversation.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else?
I will just say this, what I had said, and it was great because who we were in the room, who I was in the room was, I feel like I was aligned with, and they shared some of the techniques and the things that they put in their bodies first thing in the morning, and something that I would probably consider doing. Right, think about it, look into it more. Also, something that I had stated was, in order for us, sometimes we as people have to be selfish in order to show up selfless, and that just, for me, it just means like, it's gonna have to be my time first before it's your time. And then I can pour from that full cup, and I'm complete.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Jacqueline, I saw you smirking when you came back. Do you have anything you'd like to share?
No, I was talking to myself because I have a project that I'm committed to, and myself is trying to talk me out of it. So I was talking to her, telling her, no, we're doing this today. Okay. I don't care. I care how you feel, but we're doing this today. So that is something Mika taught me to do. So that's what I was doing. I was doing self-talk. But one of the things that I shared in the chat and I share with my children and I shared with my students is that same thing that they tell you on the airplane: put your mask on first, so you can be able to assist others. Because if you're fainting, then you can't help anybody else. And I will say that to anybody, child or, elder, that is very important, that you put yourself first, that you take care of yourself first, because you're in no position to take care of other people if you're not being taken care of, so it's like they say, hurt people hurt people. Well, people who are doing well can help other people do well. So that's just the way I do things. If I find that I'm doing something that is taken away from me, or where I am coming into something and I'm not prepared to help somebody else, but yet I'm putting myself out there to help somebody else, I'm putting myself in a place of suffering, and it's unnecessary. So my thing is, take care of yourself. Because if everybody took care of themselves, everything would be taken care of. And that's it. And I'm complete.
That's so funny you said that, Jackie, because I was in a relationship where I wasn't taking care of myself, and I was putting a lot of that emotional baggage on that person. And when we parted ways, one of the things she said was like, I had to learn to put my mask on first. And I felt it was so selfish. But as I've gotten older, I realized like it was important for her to say that. And it was important for her to be selfish in that moment, take care of herself, and how selfish it was of me to put so much on that other person. So when we don't have it together, we put it on other people, and we take away from them and their growth, and them living their best lives and prioritizing themselves, or making them feel guilty for not being our support system, for not being our lifeline, and putting our mask on before theirs. So thank you so much. That was just a trigger for me to hear that statement. And now I understand exactly what it means.
You know what? I think about it too, in terms of when you are a lifeguard, right? And you have to go save somebody. If you're not a good swimmer, and then they grab you around the neck and they drag you down, you both drown.
Yeah.
You both drown. So, I mean, I'm not saying let the other person drown. What I'm saying is make sure that you're a good swimmer.
Yeah. Thanks, Jackie.
Yes, I love that. Awesome. And then Phyllis.
Good morning, everyone. I'm just gonna state that as a mother of 6, that I've been putting all of my kids before me, and I learned a couple of years ago, which to be selfish, which I didn't know that's what I was doing, and to pleasing myself. So what I did was just change my ways and just did for Phyllis, because I did for them, and they all adults. So, I learned to live alone, do everything for me, and become the best I can be, in order for them to know that I'm here, but I still have to be happy for me. So, my whole life just changed, and I live for me now. And I'm complete.
That's amazing. And now all of your kids have that example as well of how important it is for you to put you first and take care of you and be your best self. And I think that's awesome. Yeah. I always say, like, what we model versus what we preach is the most important that we can do. So when we model that behavior of taking care of ourselves, others around us will learn to do the same. Awesome. So we can wrap up now. Just a couple of closing thoughts for today. We can pull those. Thank you. Awesome. Yeah. So just back to that idea of obstacles are the path, and to be intentional and understand, what do you need? You know, going back to putting a reminder on our phone, to setting some boundaries, to having those conversations, to the self-care piece, and owning our mindset. So what is that mindset that we want to have? And those mantras: adapt and thrive. Let's go get this, and be selfish. You know, what do you need to rest and recharge? And understanding that you are worth it. You are worth being selfish. You are worth having that rest and recharging and putting yourself first. And then final reminders, final slide for this deck is to remember that, you know, that idea that we were just all talking about. If your candle burns out, you can't light anyone else's. And, you know, they talk about, oh, someone has passed the torch to me. It's like, no, they are still carrying their torch, and they have just lit yours because they have taken care of themselves and they're able to do that. So keep that fire alight inside of you and feeding that fire so that you can light others. And that every amazing thing that has happened happens because of many, many people. There are many people that impact all of the great things that happen, and to just understand we don't have to go this alone, and we can lean on our people, lean on a support system, build a support system if we don't have one. And obviously WU is an amazing, amazing support system behind a lot of greatness that is coming from the individuals who are a part of it. So thank you so much for today. And I'm so grateful that all of you have been here this morning. And for any of you who are watching the playback, thank you for your time, and let's go forward and take care of ourselves as we do great things in this wonderful life.
Yes. Thank you so much, Joey, for this conversation. And like you said, you have to refill your cup, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. You have to pour from your overflow. That's what you have left over, not from the cup itself. Yeah.
Absolutely.
What's your special offer?
Yes. So for anyone who would like to receive 2 mindset related short videos, just hop onto my website, joey-lai.com/contact-me. And there's a form on that page. Just fill out your first name, email address, and put WU in the message box, and I will send those over to you as a thank you. Thank you for being here. If you would like to get in touch with me, there's my cell phone number, and I am on Facebook, Instagram, and you can get me via email, joey.lai@olympian.org. And again, that website, joey-lai.com. Feel free to reach out in any way. I will be happy to get back to you and continue the conversation. Love offerings and donations. If you felt inspired today, I would appreciate any donation or love offering. You can do that through Zelle or QuickPay, leadershipdevelopment@gmail.com, or through Cash App with $ Spirit of a Woman. And the code for today, because it was day 710, the code is number 710JL. So thank you so much again for being here today. And I hope that today has inspired you, or this morning has inspired you, to go on and be great.
Awesome. Thank you, Joey. And I'll take it from here. We were joking before this, sometimes we get stuck in asking for what we deserve, right? In love offerings. You shared so much this morning. You've inspired so many of us and reminded us to pour into ourselves and prioritize ourselves. So please make sure that you pour back into Joey. I know it can be difficult asking for those love offerings, but I was joking with Joey and said, you're only an Olympic winner, right? Like that's hard. And you know, making sure that you receive what you deserve is even harder to ask that request. So please, let's pour back into Joey here. And we can continue to pour into WU facilitators throughout the month. Set it and forget it. You have different options here to do automated love offerings, $25, $50, $75, $100 a month to continue our community to go thriving and to love up on our facilitators as they continue to pour into us each morning here on WU. And up next, we have Miss Valerie Lyons on Sunday, November 6th with The Power of Wisdom. So join us on Sunday for that session with Miss Valerie Lyons. All right, and if we have any newbies in the space today, thank you so much for joining us. And if you are new, just drop I'm new or put your thumbs up, even who invited you. We love to welcome the newbies and we ask that you join us again for our upcoming sessions. And for that, you can see that our schedule is as follows. We are here in the Zoom space Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 7 to 8:30 a.m. So you have an hour and a half of our facilitators. And Mondays and Wednesdays, you get a quick snippet from 7 to 7:30 a.m. and all times are Eastern time. And we also stream live on Zoom. And if you miss the sessions, you can always go to that Facebook page and catch the replays. Also, you can be reminded of our upcoming sessions by texting WU Nation to 74121 to get those weekly reminders of upcoming sessions so you never miss a beat. All right, and so if you're a part of WU Nation, you need to represent with WU Swag. So please visit the WU Swag store and pick up your next bag, notebook, mask, laptop case, water bottle, your mug, so you have your coffee in the morning before each session. You can visit today at bit.ly/WU Swag. And of course, we want you to stay in touch with us, and you can register for upcoming sessions by going to bit.ly Wake Up Movement and registering for the upcoming sessions. And when you go on the website, you'll see the lineup for the following week there. There will also be a registration button so you can register for each session that you'd like to join. We have our Facebook pages, private and public, where you can watch the replays. You can visit us on Instagram, watch some of the replays on YouTube, or reach out to us at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com for any inquiries, questions, comments, or concerns. And we wouldn't be WU without the power of collective. Like Joey said, all of us are here making things move, pushing things forward. It's not just one of us. So please, if you have any special talents and abilities, if you have the time to support, please fill out our interest form where you can let us know if you'd like to join on a specific team. We have marketing, we have slides, we have admin, we have room for you and your gifts. So please reach out to us and let us know if you would like to join the team. We're more than happy to welcome and onboard you. All right. And so now let us give some love to Joey. Send her a love shower. Thank you so much for your time and for your shares. I'm going to ask everyone to unmute and share your love.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
For all of this great
Joey.
presentation.
Thank you. Always love you.
Have
Come on
more
back.
awareness and all that
Family,
good stuff.
y'all. Have a
Learn.
great
Thank
day.
you, Joey. Thank you.
And they
You are.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
know
Bless
now
you.
Have a great day,
Love
everyone.
y'all. Love
Great.
Let's
y'all.
move
Love
forward as
y'all.
a
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
self-procreate.
Glad to be able
Continue
to
to put yourself
I am
first.
so
Yes.
glad that
And
I
more will continue to
Ah,
be here.
with the
One
family.
Thank
love.
you.
WU
Thank
Nation,
you.
baby.
It's been
Have a
a
blessed
y'all have a
day.
happy
pleasure.
day. Enjoy
Have a wonderful
walking.
day,
Have
all.
love this
Thank
morning.
you.
Love y'all.
You are.
A great way to start your
Have an
day.
awesome
Thank you.
day, family. Love
Thank you,
y'all.
beloved. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Well, love.
That's right. We love
Yes.
y'all. That's right, Adam. Real love.
Peace and blessings, Joey.
Love y'all. Have a great day, family. Mwah. Peace and
Oh,
blessings.
love my woo family.